Ladies and gentlemen, please be rise to sing our national anthem and national song of Perak. Greetings to Yang Berbahagia Dr. Muhammad Kamil Shafi, Chairman of Tourism Perak. Yang Berusaha Professor Dr. Tajul Shuhaizam bin Said, Director Institute of Malay Civilization. Yang Berusaha Encik Abu Jalal Sarimon, Founder of Asian International Art Stream. Yang Berusaha Dr. Zakaria Ali, Moderator of Art Dialogue. And for speakers, let us welcome Mrs. Din Mai Tu Trang from Vietnam, Mr. Suhaimi Farzir from Malaysia, Mr. Abu Jalal Sarimon from Singapore, Mr. Pangeran Abdul Wahab from Brunei, Mr. Richard Bukswani from Philippines, Sustainability International Art Exhibition Artist, Senior University Officers, Faculty Deans, Heads of Responsibility Centers, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the program of Sustainability, Creating a Balanced and Enduring World. The Council expresses its highest appreciation and gratitude for everyone's willingness to attend the Art Dialogue Council. To bless our ceremony today, let us together recite the Kitab Al-Fatiha.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the information of all attendees, this program is an initiative from the Institute of Malay Civilization, Asian International Art Stream, Balai Seni Negara, Tourism Perak and Port Ipoh Perak Darul Rizwan, which was held at the Art Gallery UPSI. The exhibition, which starts from 12th February until 5th March 2024, aims to give exposure to the public about art and sustainability being inseparable despite different countries. On behalf of the organizers, I would like to express my gratitude to the attendees for taking the time to attend the Art Dialogue ceremony this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to continue our agenda this morning, the Council hereby requests the Chairman of Tourism, Perak Datuk Muhammad Kamil Shafi, to deliver a welcome speech. Please, Datuk.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi washabbihi ajma'in. Thank you, Master of Science. PSI student, kita punya Master ceremony student of PSI. Profesor Bainun of Institute Peradaban Melayu, Institute of Malay Civilization, Dr. Zakaria Ali, moderator today event, our 5 panels from various countries, Cik Abdallah from Vietnam, Pangeran from Brunei, Iswami from Malaysia, and Richard from Philippines, artists, celebrated artists from 9 countries, 10 countries including Malaysia, student of University Pendidikan Sultan Idris, organizers, committee members, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'm here representing Tourism Perak Management Berhad, as well as representing AIAS and artists from 10 countries to speak about our program today, our launching at 3 o'clock, and the rest of the events. It's Mukalimah, Malaysia cakap Mukalimah. Mukalimah is a forward, very simple speech, whereby our aim here is to listen to our intellectuals in front. We'll be discussing about arts. We'll be, in conjunction with our international art exhibition, creating a balanced and enduring world. Dalam bahasa Melayunya nanti akan diterangkan akan dibikin penerangannya oleh Saudara Jalal Sarimon. Apa artinya creating a balanced and enduring world dalam bahasa Melayu. Dalam bahasa Inggerisnya, itulah maknanya. Okay? Oleh kerana kita dalam ini we are representing our countries multiracial. Kita multiracial, multi races, multicultural, multi-languages. So I speak multi-languages. I can speak 9 languages, but only one word, hello. 9 languages, only one word, hello. Hello, I think everybody understand what is the meaning of the language. Okay? So I'm here just to meraihkan, welcome you all to UPSI, kita Jabatan Tourism Perak, especially on behalf of Tourism Perak, because we are celebrating our Visit Perak year this year. This program is part of our program Visiting Perak year 2024. So this is the first program, I think, for international to visit Perak, and then our aim here is to visit a couple places around here, around Perak, so that we can feel the culture, the people of Perak, the food of Perak. Our theme this year, Visit Perak year, is Promising Perak, and our theme derived from heritage, culture, and gastronomy. Kalau gastronomy is, I think saya pun baru belajar ayat gastronomy. Orang tanya, what is the meaning of gastronomy? Semua orang tak tahu apa dia. Dia orang ingat gas, gastronomy. Tetapi sebenarnya gastronomy ialah orang marah kalau tak dapat makan bagi-bagi. It's a food, something to do about food. Jadi gastronomy is Perak want to promote dia punya food. What is the interesting food of Perak? Perak promoting not only food, dia punya art, dia punya culture, dia punya historic, dia punya building, dia punya nature, everything. We have in Perak, we have the mountain, we have the land, and we have the ocean. That is part of Perak. Too many things to promote until we don't know what to promote. And today kita ada talk, tajuk dia Creating a Balanced and Enduring World. Kita ada talk, kita jemput panels from all over the world, from Indonesia, from Philippines, from Brunei, from Singapore. Because dalam art, kalau kita melukis saja, if we paint but no one to talk about the art, it's useless, hopeless. During era Bainun, during era Cubism, Picasso, during era Jackson Pollock, contemporary visual artist, macam mana art tu boleh dipromote? How they promote art? They don't promote the artist first, they promote the art first. Then only baru kita kenal artis tu. Di Malaysia saya tengok kita ada kekurangan, we are lack of promoting artists. Now is the time Dr. Zakaria Adi punya peranan to promote artis-artis di Malaysia, not only in Malaysia, countries around us, Southeast Asian countries, ASEAN countries. Kita perlu ada coordination, mesti ada cooperation di antara artis in Asia, artis in Southeast Asia, and artis in Malaysia. That's why kita form satu group namanya ASEAN International Art Stream, which Abu Jalan, so that kita boleh get together to talk about art, to talk about everything in life. Not only art, we talk about food, we talk about fashion, we talk about engineering, we talk about creativity. That is from that sources, then only we can create our form of beauty, our form of creativity, our form of art. Today kita dengar dulu, kita listen to the professionals, to the intellectuals discussing about things that related to art and creativity. The unique things today, normally we ask questions to the panels, but today panel will ask questions to the artists. Different. Kita create different environment. Panel boleh menyoal penonton. Kali ini panel menyoal penonton. Panel ask question to penonton. Audience can ask question also as well. Question and answer both. Vice versa. Audience dengan panel, panel dengan audience. You can ask me any question you want to ask, but I cannot answer all questions. You can ask the panel all questions. They might be answered. They might can answer all of your questions. It studio. Yeah. So today, sebelum nak start, I take this opportunity to introduce you, to invite Dr. Zakaria Ali as the moderator. Pepustakaan untuk Dr. Zakaria. Dr. Zakaria is a very prominent artist, poet, educationalist, academician, well known in Malaysia, in Southeast Asia, in fact world. Yeah. Graduated from Harvard University, Universidad de las Américas, Mexico. Dia graduate dari sana. Dia punya Bachelor of Fine Art from Southwestern University, Texas. So a well-known figure, art figure in Malaysia, a well-rounded individual who can talk about many things, art history, art as well, design, life, love, anything about things that you want to do. So you can ask Dr. Zakaria any question, and then he's hoping for you to ask him questions. And then we have panels. All the panels will be introduced by Dr. Zakaria afterward. I only introduce Dr. Zakaria. Okay, the rest of the panel will be introduced by Dr. Zakaria. So, I don't want to waste any more times. We start our discussion. Before that, at 3 o'clock, everybody are invited to the launching of Sustainability International Art Exhibition. Beside the gallery, beside the library, is a gallery, art gallery, over there at 3 o'clock. And then for those who want to do some makeup, we can prepare everybody who want to do some makeup. And then who want to rest, we have a room for resting here. Yes. Ada room, betul? Ada bilik untuk rest. And then lepas tu kita akan semua pergi ke galeri. Kita akan bertemu dengan ramai lagi kehadiran pada hari ini. Kita jemput ramai sebenarnya during the launching pada hari ini. So kita bertemu. So today, artists and educators, we sit down, we take some time to talk about life, art and creativity. Thank you very much.
Thank you to Dr. Muhammad Kamil Shafi for the welcome speech just now. Next, I would like to invite moderator and speaker line up for the art dialogue event this morning. I welcome Dr. Zakaria Ali as moderator. And for the speakers, I welcome Mr. Dean Maitutra, Mr. Suhaimi Fadzir, Mr. Abu Jalal Karimon, Mr. Pengira Abdul Wahab, Mr. Richard Busani.
Duduk Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. MC, Dato', para pegawai sebelah saya cuma nak bagi tahu sedikit je lah tentang peserta kita yang nak bercakap ni. Dan maklumat yang saya ada ni ialah seperti yang kita dapat lihat, sebelah kanan saya ini ialah Encik Abu Jalal, Abu Jalal Salimon. dia adalah seorang seniman, seorang pelukis dari Singapura dan aktif sangat dalam bidang kita tu. Sebelah Encik jalan sana ialah Tuan Pangeran Abdul Wahab, ya, yang dari Brunei. Seperti yang dapat kita lihat, beliau ada rambut panjang, berjanggut, satu image pelukis yang kental lah, ya. Okay. Itu dia Encik Pangeran, ya. Kemudian sebelah kiri saya, ujung sini sebelah ni ialah Encik Suhaimi. Encik Suhaimi ni seorang arkitek, ya, seorang arkitek yang sering berfikir tentang macam mana kita nak kekalkan keseimbangan antara apa yang kita pakai dan apa yang kita buang, ya. Jadi beliau adalah seorang aktivis juga, pemikir tentang environment kita, ya. Kemudian in the middle here, kiri ini ialah seorang yang kamu agak-agak antara mana, sebenarnya dari Vietnam. Puan, forgive me if I mispronounce your name, but I'm going to read it as it is spelled. Puan Din Mai Thu Trang, ya, dari Vietnam. Juga seorang arkitek dan pelukis, dan membina rumahnya sendiri atas bukit, ya, menggunakan alat-alat bahan terpakai, ya, sama dengan yang next page ni, yang last kali ni, yang tersenyum ni, nama dia ialah Senior Ricardo Buzani dari Filipina. Dia adalah seorang Filipina yang arkitek, yang aktif sekali. Dia juga cukup tekun menggunakan alat bahan-bahan terpakai, using discarded materials untuk repurpose, reused dalam pembinaan, dalam arkitektur, ya. Jadi ini panel kita yang akan bercakap sedikit tentang sustainability, tentang nak kekalkan benda yang ada ni, ya. Kita nak sustainability kita nak kekalkan, ya. Satu perbuatan yang agak susah. It's difficult to sustain anything. We cannot even sustain our own lives sometimes. So sustainability is a problem, is an existential problem that we all face. Right? So before I let them have the mic, I have prepared with me here some notes that I would like to sort of read out because I'm not good at giving free, unguided talk or speech. I have to read my notes so that I don't go off tangent. Okay, I begin with Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, in the name of God, most compassionate and most merciful. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, Prof, pencara-pencara, artis-artis, pelajar-pelajar, pegawai-pegawai universiti, members of the public, for taking the time to attend this dialogue. I hope when we leave this Dewan, this hall, we may learn a great deal from listening to these esteemed speakers. As a moderator, I would like to say a few words in order to draw the parameter within which the discussion will be conducted. I think I have been told that each speaker is given about 25 to 20 minutes to speak, or less, or more. I will try to summarize briefly to highlight some of the important points. I would like for you to jot down to jot down the questions you may have for any of the speakers. And jot down your question, okay? So when everybody has spoken, we will have the Q&A. And for that, I think we have ample time for Q&A. Okay? Now to begin. Now, scientists have identified the issue of sustainability as something global. The environment, the economy, the political system, the natural resources are all tied together, impacting us in more ways than one. So, the big question is, how are we using our resources without depleting them? So that there are some still left for our anak cucu, for our children, great-children, for our great-grandchildren. You know, we sucked crude oil from the bowels of the earth. There will be a time when that crude oil will be gone. It is a finite commodity. We drive to work. I drive to get over here. We pollute the air, emit toxins into the atmosphere. The ozone up there is damaged by our pollutants. The sun ultraviolet radiation will surely damage our lungs. The atmosphere gets overheated. We experience long droughts, devastating floods, heat waves. Today seems hotter than it was yesterday. So altogether, the picture isn't pretty. The picture would be worse if we didn't do anything. Few of us, really few of us, are actually involved in making the long-term policies to sustain our national heritage. But we all benefit from them. So, what we take, we give back. Reciprocity is practiced in all cultures. You take, you give. We can reduce the discussion to a micro level, to a personal level. So in this way, we participate. We quit throwing trash around. Keep the yard clean. We don't block the longkang, the drains. So, when we start thinking about the environment, that environment is us. We are the environment. When we destroy it, we are committing suicide. So, if we think the environment is an enemy, an adversary, then we are doomed. If we think we have conquered the environment, tamed it to suit our ends, we are in deep trouble. Anytime, the environment can strike back without mercy. We see the value of education, teaching the young to be environmentally friendly. And the best way to show, the best way to teach is to show them examples. We don't throw things around. We don't trash around. We burn the trash in the front yard on Sundays. Of course, we're guilty of releasing carbons into the air, polluting it. But who is to punish us? Nature will punish us by and by. Maybe not today, not tomorrow, but it will eventually. So let us learn or hear from our speakers how to mitigate this eminent threat. So, with that, let us begin with our guest from the Philippines, Senor Ricardo Puhani.
Good morning to everyone. I will try to be as eloquent as Dr. Zakaria today. And let me start by this topic, garbage to art. So, my background is in architecture, but I started as a sculptor in 2009. So, it was just recent, but I had different hats to wear before I became an artist. So I also worked in corporate and in finance. And then I found my calling. Now, one of the most important roles of artist, although it's a thankless job, is to be able to start a creative idea. In order for us to sustain our resources, one person has to start an idea so that other people can follow. So it's basically what we do as artists. It's thankless because we always get copied. We never get the credit. Somebody from the corporate maybe or in the manufacturing would get to take credit for our works. But in the point of view of sustainability and preserving resources, I think we should have done already what we can in order to protect our environment. So let me not just talk to you, let me show you, because we will be presenting a series of photos. These are actual photos of our practice in the art in the Philippines. It was thank you to my wife, Trisel, who put together this slide presentation just a few days ago, but let me try to present it to you. Next slide, please. This is one of the sculptures that I did, I think this was last year, for the National Commission on Culture and Arts of the Philippines. The idea of this arachne chair is a pincushion, a tomato, which is very common to seamstress and tailors. And what's unique about this is all made of scrap sewing machines and sewing tables. It has 8 legs. In order for us to create, we have to be able to grasp the materials that we use. So it doesn't have to be always new. If you have found objects, you can start conceptualizing on those pieces first, and then you can come up with something like this. In fact, the door at the back is probably 100 years old, which came from a demolished house. So it was going to be discarded, and we were able to purchase the door for a song, and we were able to use it in the studio. Next, please. Okay, this is also another photo of a chair made of sewing machines. And the backrest and the seat came from end rails from demolished bridges. So no new material was used to do this piece. And it was painted by my friend. We were actually thinking about, as a kid, we wanted our own flying chair. So this is what we came up with. Sewing machines. Next, please. Okay, it's a bench made also from sewing machines. So I think this is called Stitches in Time. When we present this to the NCCA of the Republic of the Philippines. It weighs a lot, but it's very, very comfortable. You can actually sleep on it while reading. Next, please. Okay, so it's a bookshelf made of discarded materials. This is actually located in an artist's bedroom, which we can use for art residencies. And these are all the collection of art books and art materials that the artist can research on while staying for the residency. Next, please. All the chandeliers came from the junk shop. This was suspended as an installation on the 3rd and 4th level of my studio in the Philippines. And all the railings are also made of sewing machines. I have a very unique connection with sewing machines because I used to, my father owns a manufacturing, a garments factory. So I'm used to seeing these sewing machines lying around. The first time I saw a sewing machine being discarded, I was too attached that I thought I should buy one of these instead of it going to the smelter. And then it started piling up. I probably have about 500, 600 sewing machines still in our warehouse. So I can still sustain doing a lot of artworks from these materials. Next, please. This is also part of the studio. That's actually the bedroom for the artists if they come into residency with us. All of this, the wood used for the ceiling came from old demolished houses, so nothing new. Even the furniture, they have all been thrown away, discarded, or ended up in antique shops. So nothing new here. Everything is reused. Next slide, please. Okay, another part of the studio that has the veranda, all sewing machines. Next, please. You can just imagine how many sewing machines I have, right? Next slide. Next slide. Again, for railings. So, it only takes one idea for you to be able to make a difference, right? And that's our role. If we can do something like this and another person copies from us, then that's one sewing machine saved, and another two copies from the other one, and it creates a bandwagon effect that would eventually become sustainable. Next slide, please. Okay, all of the bricks here came from old kiln that were already demolished from ceramic factories. So I think I was able to buy 24 tons of these. And they were not even selling it to me by piece. They were selling it by weight. So, of course, because it's 24 tons, it's a lot, right? But being able to use this material in the studio creates a lot of interest, and it's very pleasing to the eye as well, right? Okay, it's just not clear, but there are old wooden shutters that came from old school buildings, again demolished. And part of being an artist is to find a use for it. So we were able to use it for the ceiling. It also acts as a sound absorption material, so that if you're doing a lot of talking inside this space, not a lot of sound bounces because of the texture. And there is also a tactile quality to the things that we use when it comes to upcycling and recycling. Next slide, please. An old door from India. This was also found in second-hand store. Yes, but I found two left doors. That was my problem. Okay, but since I'm an artist, nobody would say that this is wrong, right? So I just framed the two left doors to become a part of one set of door. Now, in our studio, because it's quite big, we do not want to lug around a lot of keys, so we are using punch key door system. So otherwise, it's quite difficult if you have to go 4 floors and have to get the keys. So if you visit, we'll give you the code. Next slide, please. These are manhole covers that we used for the fence. Okay, so it kind of looks like it's rolling. Looks like it's rolling and tumbling down on the other side. Rather than make fences that are too high, we wanted to keep the gentle breeze just passing through the whole of the compound. Next, please. Okay, more of the bricks. So you can see that it's not actually brickwork anymore. It's more of mosaic work because it's basically too small to use. But since we have the gift of artistry and creativity, we just sort of found a way to use every single piece of the bricks that were already discarded. And we were able to put solar lamps in order to light up the whole space. This studio alone is about 1,000 square meters on a footprint of about 250 square meters. Next slide, please. In this studio, we have 4 guest houses. This space here, all of the wood that were used, doors, windows, were all came from demolished houses. And most of the studios have cistern tanks underneath that collect rainwater, so that when summer comes, we can use it to water the plants. Next slide, please. This is called the three-house guest house. So it has an ensuite bathroom on top where artists can stay, and it has a common kitchen area at the ground floor. It has its own open deck system where artists can talk and socialize. Even if they're working, they can go to this place and talk about things, anything under the sun, and gossip as well. Next slide, please. The roofing materials were all discarded. This is the area where we conduct workshops for artists. In fact, we are trying to get this place to become an art hub of artists where they can throw ideas together and come up with projects that we can do for the government, but for free. We always believe that initializing these projects through the efforts of the artists themselves makes the projects community-based rather than rather than being gallery-based. Okay, because a lot of practice in the Philippines are gallery-based, and it's based on commercialism because of the involvement, of course, of selling the artwork. So this is a way of paying back to the community that supports us. Next slide, please. Okay, this is actually a fence made of 115 sewing machines. Okay. And there are also piano parts. There's actually one chair here, if I remember correctly. So whatever we get, whatever materials we get our hands on, we just, try to squeeze it in and come up with something beautiful. Yes. Next slide, please. Windows came from old houses. The furniture are probably about from the 50s, 60s. People don't want to use this anymore. They want stuff from IKEA, and they want branded furniture. But it's a way again of, And the one in the back are wooden shutters. So we tried to change the perspective. So rather than making it vertical, we made it horizontal. Yes. Next slide, please. Okay, this is an old BMX bike from the 80s. Okay, those of you who are in their 50s know about this bike. And we made it as a gate. Yes, next slide, please. This is the 3-meter gate that I was telling you about. So, everything that you see here are upcycled. if you can see the accordion door, it came from old shop houses in the Philippines from 70s, 80s. So we decided to use it as a dividing gate fence. Next slide, please. Oh, there's the fence and the gate. It actually looks like a time machine. So when you enter the cafe, you're suddenly transported to a place where old things existed. We even have a record player. Could you believe? Next slide, please. The front of the cafe. The bicycle is pre-war, an American type bicycle, and you can see the millstones, the grinding stones in front. So when you go to our part of our place in the Philippines, people would say that we already own all of the stone mills in that area because of the amount we were able to collect. Next slide, please. This is part of the coffee shop where we exhibit a lot of the young artists that we have in the Philippines. And the sewing machine legs. These are mostly Singer sewing machines. This type, right? So we just provided the wood in order to use it as tables. Next slide, please. Okay, so that concludes my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Richard. I think what we will do is that we will open the floor for you guys to ask Mr. Richard what he has just presented before we forget many of the points that he put forth. So shall I begin with, we open the floor. We want you guys to ask question. Yes.
Hi Richard. Yeah, thank you for the good presentations. What happened? We are an artist, and I'm an art organizer. We're always looking for new space, for us to organize art exhibitions, to bring people together, to go places. So I find that your place is really cool. You are talking about having a place for art residents. Is there a possibility that our members can go there? We can create one event there, and to how we can actually appreciate and understand better about how artists can benefit from the discarded materials, and we convert trash into treasure. Maybe you can share with us.
Well, actually, yes, of course. In fact, okay. When I look at UPSI and what you have all been doing here in Malaysia, sometimes I envy you here, because although we have some programs in the Philippines, there are not really too much that is artist-based in a way. So, but the strength of the art spaces in the Philippines is that we try to connect with each other. Okay, so my space is probably connected to another art residency program. There's another who would do the mentoring program, and there's another space who would have exhibitions that is, you get invited to present the idea, and it doesn't have to be something that can be sold. Okay. So with us connecting with each other and combining our resources, definitely, of course, we can come up with something. We are actually talking already together, the Team Philippines, on how we can do this program to go to the Philippines as well.
Thank you. Another question. I think Swami Fazil might be very interested, because what I know, he also did some project recently in Langkawi using discarded materials to be part of his artwork. And he's famous for his installations and found object artwork. Maybe Suhaimi want to ask more.
I would like to ask. Hi everyone, my name is Suhaimi. I just want to ask, thank you for your presentation. I'm doing some practice doing the found objects, discarded materials, but I just wonder how the response in Philippines, because over here people still think it's a junk. So it's very hard for people to accept it, because I know Rochambeau and all others artists in the West, they just use cardboard, they use this and that, which during that time nobody will accept it too. Even he tried to pay his rent using his artwork, still nobody want to have it. You can imagine now it worth millions. But how they respond in Philippines with that kind of materials?
Okay, I can answer that. The one that I'm presenting to you is something that I would do. Okay, but I'm not actually. My works like this are famous not because of its commercial quality, but because of the creative development that was involved in it. But I have a hybrid practice. So most of my works that go into galleries are made of copper and brass. So I call it hybrid because those are the things that make the one that are in the gallery. Those are the artworks that make these works possible. Those are the ones that pay for this. Okay, so my suggestion is we have to be multidisciplinary, and we have to be multimedia as well. Okay. We should not only wear one hat. If we are able to do works that would sell in the gallery, then we can also do other projects that are for free, and other projects that would satisfy our own creative pursuits. So you need to be able to take on two rivers all at the same time.
All right, we have 3 questions just now, so we move on to our next speaker, who's going to be Mrs. Din Mai Tu Trang. Hello, Master.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Trang from Vietnam. It's my honor to be here to talk to you and sharing my things about my work. Ever since I was in art university, I practiced in project in folk culture and bookmaking heritage, and I learned about traditional Vietnamese and art for trend around 10 years. And before deciding to become an art teacher in an international school in Hanoi, it's transitioned from an artist and have a freelancer creativity job and free to become an officer job is very, very challenge for me. And dealing with the student with 5 to 18 years old is not easy, but I choose to do that about 10 years now, and when we work in art teachers for more time because of the value of the art education, because I have put a knowledge about folk culture. I have been taught and learned over the past 20 years into my lecture for students and express them in my composition too. Do you know about the lacquer material? Have you ever heard about this word? It's a special material from Vietnam, from the sumac tree. And in the early 20th century, lacquer was developed as a painting material, and it's made by a golden leaf and silver leaf on the board, and have a lot of mineral color, mineral things, and have a lot of eggshell, silver, and I want to present a video about the way we work with the lacquer. Could you please help me to open the video with the practice with the lacquer? No? Not that one. I did it too. Oh, it's a human tree. What?
Three.
No. Not this one. No. Oh,
You do this.
yes, this.
Okay, we turn off the light.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So it's a lacquer. It's a traditional material in Vietnam, and in the late century, it's just were used on the statue, on the motif in the Padoga temple. But now it's were innovation, and we improve it to work on canvas. So it's enhanced a little bit, but still have the golden leaf, silver leaf, mineral color. And if you like to practice with this material, please come to our studio. We just opened the new studio, the studio on the hill, and it's like a residency to artists. It's 1,000 square meter in Hanoi, and it's a private studio for me and my husband. We open for the artists to come. We can go to the traditional village over there and try to practice with the pottery, print making, and do some lacquer together.
Where is your
Welcome to
husband?
our studio.
Where is your husband?
Here.
Stand up.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. We will move on to our third presenter. We will have Mr. Pangiran. If Mr. Pangiran wants to go ahead, Abdul Wahab, yeah?
Thank you very much. Good morning, selamat pagi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I just would like to share my experience as a government officer talking about maintaining the quality of environment with regards to the land management. And as an artist, as Datu was saying, Datu Kamil last night, if you remember, everybody is a philosopher and a trendsetter and perhaps a mover in society. And this is quite very interesting. As our moderator was saying just now, how life could be impacted by our action or our inaction. And if we see the world trends from the 80s, where the energy crisis and the Brundtland report, when we are talking about sustainable, that can guide the future generation to enjoy the continuity of enjoying our resources, whatever we have in the world, and instead of depleting, but we are extending the life of all the materials, and the words finite. There is nothing will last forever, and we have to recreate the circle to make it sustainable. Same thing with all human activities, our environment, our culture will be eroding if the question of sustainability is not in balance. So every one of us is responsible to generate or create awareness or becoming a trendsetter or a thinker or whatever we can transmit and transform the knowledge and the information we have. And that is just the intro. And perhaps let me give some specific examples how the working environment, the experience that I gathered nearly 3 decades as a policymaker and the observer, and now I'm on the other side of the fence as an artist. What do I do? Yeah, and this is very interesting, knowing Borneo. If we are talking about the Amazon being used as the ranges, we remember the lives of the natives are being threatened, and there are cases where, like Mendes becoming the freedom fighter for the natives, and similarly in Ecuador, in the survival of the Funais tribes, which with the cries of the Amazonians in particular. And that trends perhaps will be exerting in the area in Borneo, like slash and burning practices, and how neighboring countries have been suffering due to the practice of the haze after some season slash and burn practices. And also the question of timber is a big game, and plantations of the kelapa sawit, or the palm oils, and many economic activities, if not in balance, will destroy the environment. But there are moves from the government trying to practice cyclical management on the what we call the plantation and cropping timing, so that the energy will be surviving for the future generation to enjoy, and at the same time the economic activities are not hampered, particularly when we are having vast of lands and a lot of poor people, and the balance between creating the economic diversification for the poor as well as for the generations of the government's interest in economic achievement, particularly when we are taking on a big scale of plantation and timber resources. And similarly, I mean, we are facing with the architects here. The trends perhaps nowadays and more on the green technology of the architecture, using the discarded materials. In fact, at the same time, infusing the aesthetic elevation to another level. Of course, this is just a beginning, but if we see the world trend all over, observe the art is making a life of nothing out of discarded material, out of discarded place. If we say, like in the 80s, the movement of the artists in UK, where the beginning of practicing the sustainable after the Bainun report, after the energy crisis, well, the graffiti everywhere, here and there, but the artists are making the city revival using the graffiti as part of the living condition and put it another level. And now if we see big cities, a lot of graffitis have their respectable places. And also conversions of the mills and all building into new building, giving the second life, the city, derelict city. If we see in particularly in UK, the bricklands, and we remember brickland was at that time the ghettos of the UK, but nowadays when we have the second visit, the revival of the garden in the city, and the same thing with the revival of the docklands housing development, and how the city can become vibrant to attract investors. So apart from the being historical, apart from the question of practicing culture, in each of us, very interesting to put the spirit alive, teaching people disseminating the information, how important is the question of maintaining what we have and creating another way of moving forward. And this kind of practice where some trendsetters, like the practice Mr. Richard and everywhere, perhaps the use of the ancient technologies into the modern way of presenting, we can see a lot of opportunities there. And this is the world for us to think and not to be suffocated, not overused, over-consuming, but due care to the moderate use, at the same time expanding the life of anything we do. That's how the way to sustain the practice of sustaining. Talking about the environment in particular, the question of keeping the green is becoming quite the currency now. City in the garden in the city, and that's how we attract the livelihood of the city becoming livable instead of people differentiate urbanism, rural and urban practices. And nowadays, when we see cities being that can be even with this kind of the policy from the government, giving the spaces alive, making it green. Green is the color to breathe for us. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Pengiran. I guess my next speaker would be our architect here, Mr. Suhaimi. Would you have something to say?
I'm not a speaker, I'm just an add-on. So, because these two are the speakers. Right? So, but I have a question to ask her, you know.
Yes.
Tak payah cakap, tak payah guna ni. See, I like your presentation just now. So, because a part of my practice is the process. So I like the process. I like to see how the paint dry, how it. Because most of us, when we practice or do art, sometimes we just want to have an end result. But I would like to see how it combined together. See, my background is in architecture, so I always play with materials. See, people always ask me, you know, how you glue things together. See, for us, we do analysis of study. So, if you glue paper to paper, you have to use different to wood, different glue. So when I see some of your works just now, he say, "Wow, that's beautiful," you know, because it was silver gold. So gold. Yes. So can you process? I just want. Is it the community involved, you know, to do the works? And if the community involved, is how you marketed the paintings or the works? And then lastly, how it affected the environment, because maybe you use a lot of chemicals and so forth.
Good.
Thank you so much for your question. About the name of the lacquer is the name of the metal we connecting the mineral color to the wood, to the any surface that you want to put on. It's a blob of the tree, the stomach tree, and only few countries in Asia has this. So like some in Chinese, some in Taiwan, some in Vietnam, as I know. So that's why in my can treat as this material. And it's a material that you can stick together.
So it's like glue.
Yeah, it can be understand like a glue, but it had a process to make it work difficult. And if you come to Vietnam, I can show you it because it should be have the studio to make it from the tree to the material you can use. And nowadays, some of the country, some artists in the world know about this material and they want to learn this material. Oh, I forgot Japanese too. Japan has this material too. So to put it on the painting is new, because in the past this material is for the architecture, the tattoos, not for the decoration, not for the paintings. So for the painting is an innovation from the early 20th century until now. So not so far. So it's a new material that not easy to control, because there's nothing to long time to practice. So that's why people doesn't know about it. How to control it is still a question even for the artist. My husband and I take around more than 10 years to practice with this material, to know how to control this material. And it has a lot of layers. This material can transfer. So if you put another layer on top, it still can transfer to the last. So it can 10 or even 20 layers. And if you want it flat, you need to tear it with the sandpaper. Yes. And our paintings always have the first step is take the silver leaf on top, always. So this metal have the light inside. So you cannot have the light without the light, right? But for the lacquer paintings, when we use silver, golden, so they have light themselves. Even you don't put the light on, it still have light inside. Yeah. So it's a quite interesting things about the lacquer. Yes. Come and I will show you how to practice with material.
I guess when we call something lacquer, it sounds so chemically.
Yeah.
It's so chemically that if you discard it, throw it away as a waste, it's going to affect the environment. But you said this is sort of natural-based liquor that will not affect the environment. So we are learning today that not all names with the chemically names would ruin the environment. All right.
It's like the minerally.
You're right, liquor.
We assume that liquor is chemical,
Right.
bad chemical.
Right.
So it's you enlighten us.
It's organic.
Yeah. All right. Our next speaker, I guess, would be, if you want, no?
Well, I just like I said.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So we move on to our Singapore guest, Encik Jalal, who has a lot to say what we are discussing today. Okay, have the floor, please.
Yeah, I have a lot of things to say. And give me 3 days, I won't stop talking. But anyway, what we have, let me share with you how we come up. The title, Sustainability. We're talking about how we sustain our life. Even to sustain a relationship is not easy, Then there's ability, to show how you master the situation, how you control yourself, how you save the world, by putting a lot of effort, create a lot of awareness for us to share our knowledge and our commitment to sustain this world. And looking at what we are doing as an artist, I think we have the softest manner to sustain the world. the way we portray our work, the way we share our knowledge with others, the way we approach is really subtle. You won't harm people. You are not so aggressive, and people look at your work, they fall in love, and they want to know more. And that's what, as most of our artists, like Swami Fazal used to say, even this our famous artist from Indonesia used to say that if you produce your work, if your work without philosophy is useless. So it's good for artists to actually do your work, produce your work with your heart. The philosophy behind it, like our Mentalman, the Sariman used to say, your work must have philosophy. Then people will appreciate it. Then in the Malay used to say penghayatan. You can have that feel. So when you buy the work, when you produce the work, you understand that it's something which is for you and also is for everyone. Because at the end of it, that aesthetic value that you have, plus point of the appreciation that you produce from the values, it gives a lot of impact, that work to the artist and also to the audience, and encourage people to collect your work. So that is how we come up with this word sustainability. And it is, I believe this is very popular terms now, and everybody have their own way how to interpret this and how to get it function, for everyone. So when I'm looking at what, when we pick a panel, when we come up with this idea with Datuk Kamil, I start to talk and discuss with him who shall be the panel. So I look at Richard, what Richard been doing recently, and what actually Chang was talking about lacquer, right? But actually she's actually currently building a studio on the hill in Hanoi, and they have is 1,000 square meter, 1,000 square meter, and they have a big dream to actually to bring artists all over the world to make use of his studio as a playground for art. So I hope I can make it possible. Yeah? Probably this will be part of our project in the pipelines to bring artists to Hanoi. Not only to enjoy Hanoi, vibrant, dynamic city, but also to know more about how they sustain their art. Though you have done your work for 100 over years, but until today, that lacquer work still doing very well in Vietnam. There are many people in art collectors actually in the world. They've been collecting only lacquer work. You're talking about the 4 layer, 8 layers, 12 layers, 24 layers, that kind of layers that we thought just a simple layering of lacquer, but the process actually very, very complex. But when you know the process, then you realize how the people of Vietnam who used to get bombed by America, but they sustain, they become stronger, and they keep their heritage, their culture to themselves, and also now start sharing to people and make it very interesting. So we can learn from Vietnam from there, and by sitting here alone is not enough. You have to go there and to understand, firsthand, in Hanoi, where the place, history will tell you about their heritage, about their people. In Singapore, we're talking about sustainability. We have many artists from all genre. Nowadays we have artists from the new age, the contemporary artists, artists who combine 2D, 3D performing art. If you are talking about the dynamic of Singapore artists, many years back in 1980s, 90s, we have artists who actually stand in front of the public, start cutting the pubic hair, they call it art. Urine in front of the public, drink that urine, they call it art. But actually when you look at this, it's really gross. But that guy who did that kind of work, he he said is something which is contemporary. He's become very famous now. He's the sought after artist who've been teaching in Dubai, in Singapore. He received good money. But some people call it gimmick. Some people call it a newfound way of doing art. It's subjective, but as an artist, I believe that we have our ethics, we have our discipline, and it's very important for us to take care of our good names. And after all, we are Asian. We have our own culture and our own adab, they say, that we have to preserve, that we have to sustain, because that's make us different. We are Asian, they are Western, they are European. Thank you, I think that's it. To stop now, if not I won't stop. Thank you.
Okay, I would like to say something, because I think I grew up within the Eastern and Western, I have a studio in St. Louis. So, what I'm trying to say, because whatever he said just now, when you do something, do paintings, you have to have philosophy, you have to have a story to tell. But for us, sometimes it's not the case. We are artists, we are inventor, we are something, we are always in the forefront, So when you practice, sometimes words have no meanings, You just do it, You try to invent something. That's how the technocrat, even nowadays in the US, the heart surgeon, they need artists to think what the heart think, So, which have no meanings, You just invent, you keep practicing. Don't discourage yourself, keep pushing. Even if you have no narrative, no story, it's okay, because we are artists,
Just do it.
Yeah, just proceed, Of course, in our case here in Asia, the collector loves to hear your story. But sometimes, as an artist, we create the story just to sell our paintings, Then we not dishonest, We not honest to ourselves. So for me, if I want to say something to a young artist, don't be discouraged, because we not a writer to write our statements, Professor can do for us, you just need to talk to him or tell you what you're doing, So just keep doing, keep pushing. Don't worry about the narrative, because we want to be forefront. We want to invent something new. We are artists. Always think we are artists, Then you'll be okay. So that's the thing that when I see when Western artists and Asian artists practicing their works, it's a little bit different. But I guess both have the same idea, that we want to be an artist, we want to be inventing something new, to take care of environments. But at the end, I just want to say, don't worry, keep practicing and believe in yourself. Don't worry about what people say. All right.
I guess before we close, I have a question to Mr. Richard, who has been using a lot of sewing machines. And as we all know, sewing machines are very, very, very heavy. You cannot carry it with one hand. You have to have 6 hands to carry a Singer sewing machine. So my question is, how did you do it?
Okay. Part of being an architect is being able to do project management. So, I guess every hat I wore before becoming an artist is now contributing to what I do. So, my studio, my crew is about 8 people. So the biggest that I'm doing right now is as big as 4 meters. And we all work in steel and metal. So I used to do a lot of construction work, building houses. So if I can build a 4-story house in 2 years, definitely I can do a sculpture in a month, right? So I guess it's project management. I am able to clearly supervise every person in my studio is each a hand that is my extension. So that's how we do it.
So, yes, we have one question from the audience. Yes, please.
How do you actually handle the space? Because I think the more you do, and then the more you need space, as I see it, it's very vast and your collection, where do you put them and have a special space?
I don't invest in luxury items. I invest in space. So my wife would know that. Because I always build. I don't buy expensive anything, but I would buy like the chandeliers and candelabras. I bought 3 tons. And it's still in my storage up to now. Waiting for the time it sees the light.
You have a lot of storage.
We have a lot of storage space. So beside this studio, we have a house. I have 2 more studios at the back and 1 carpentry shop separate and 2 more storage houses. So we try to get as much material as we can. That, you know, as an artist, we think, oh, I can use this. I can use this one. I can use this one. So whatever I can buy. Of course, I will tell her after I've already bought it. I will not tell immediately. And then I will start bringing it out of the storage little by little. Oh, we already have that. Long time ago.
So your question, Chancellor left. He has a lot of space. A lot of space. So he can buy tons and tons and tons of junk and space them. So I have another question, please.
Any more?
Please. Tanya, yeah, Anil, please.
Oh, please. Here we go.
Okay, sorry, I have a bit of thank you very much for your very good presentation. I really enjoyed hearing every bit from everyone. As we all know that art is something that has more responsibility than just to probably just for the sake of our own pleasure, or rather the art market pleasure or the collector's pleasure. So I was just wondering whether there is any effort or initiative by any one of you to create projects that can instill awareness among the society, among children or teenagers, you know, about this very pertinent issue. Because I think I haven't heard anyone talking about their, you know, involvement in this kind of projects. So I'm just wondering whether is there any plans, you know, whether in the past or in the near future, to do such a program. Thank you.
Okay, let me answer this. Recently, I was approached by our artist from Johor, Mr. Norazlan. We were offered actually a project with 62 orang asli kampung in Johor area, where they want us, 2 of us, to conduct an art program with the orang asli, whereby I think we are in the planning stage. First, we were going to do research about them. And our work will be focused more on the youngsters, probably from the age of 6 to 15. Because this is the area where we found that need to be nurtured, need to be more serious in encourage them to be more aware about what happened in the world and to share what is their aspirations when they grow, what they want to be, the kind of stuff. And obviously, we are from the creative industry. Like I'm doing advertising. Nur Azlan is an art teacher, and we are practicing artists. We do a lot of, we organize a lot of art exhibitions. We organize a lot of art workshop for children. And that's it. We supposed to submit our proposal by next month to JCOB. You know, JCOB is under the TMJ of Johor. We are getting some funding direct from JCOB. So we are looking at it is probably about a year program where we have to travel from one kampung to another, and we will have a workshop. We have do some lectures, some research. Then there will be an art exhibition. So I will try to update everyone about this if we have the opportunity. And I'll try to get artists to get involved. So because I think if two of us to do the project is pretty tough. But we can get writers, you know, like Professor, our friend here, we can do 3D. Richard, maybe he can come along to organize something about, turning trash into treasure, that kind of stuff. So I want to open this to them and for them to get exposed. And I think it's possible because we've been doing this annually, and I think it shouldn't be any problem as long as the fund is there, coming from direct from the sponsor. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Peter. Can I have another question? Yeah.
Also, I want to sharing a little bit. I talked to Jala when we went to when I and my husband went to Singapore, and we have an idea about the art camp and art exchange for the student. But making it need a process and take a long time to make a plan. So and also, by the way, our studio on the hill can open for the student to attend, to come. So in the future, yes, we will do it. Yes.
I also would like to add something. This is what we do in the Philippines because there are not a lot of platforms for young artists. Okay, in our studio, we have what we call the 15 square art space. It's 15 square because it's only 15 square meters. Now we do exhibit young artists on a monthly basis, so it's going to change. Now we have at the most our first solo exhibits of artists. So it's not age-based because there are artists who start at the tender age of 55 or 60. Okay, so they are also welcome to exhibit, but it's more like a vetting process as well. It's not an open call. Now, we do this because we want to make sure that, because there are art spaces who would do mentoring, and there are art spaces who would do art residencies. But what happens afterwards? Where do they go? They are not able to penetrate the major galleries in the Philippines because they are all located in very expensive places. Now, if I'm going to sponsor a young artist, it might not even be enough to pay for the space. So they have nowhere to turn to. This is what the 15 Square Art Space is all about. They would exhibit with us. So we are a springboard for young artists so that they can transition themselves to a bigger gallery. Now, if this program gets copied, then I guess it would benefit the artist all the more. So, if you can do this, then I guess why not?
I would like to say something else. in my case, I have my work in Langkawi, but I think it's more like educating, See, over there, the parents don't want the kids to be creative, maybe. It's I always tell the parents, it's okay, because sometimes we have project do like a bird cage or cat cage, with the kids, but the parents is always against it, because they feel like it's a waste of time. So what we're trying to do over there is just to tell the parents, it's okay, to waste your time doing all these things, Awareness, yeah. It's more like that is what we've been doing at the islands, Try to tell the parents it's okay, don't waste. It's okay. The kids, they are very creative. Sometimes as an artist, you learn a lot from them, because they don't have any interest, doing art for collector, doing art because people want to ask you to do this and that. So they are very genuine, but the hurdle is the parents. So as long as we say it's okay, then maybe one day it's okay, Just want to add on.
All right. Do I have another question, please? Are you good? Yeah? All right. I guess I hope that after listening to our esteemed speakers discussing this very pertinent issue, we all leave with something in our head, something that we can do to save the environment, so that we have the sustainability that we all are looking for. All right. I guess with that, I shall close this session of dialogue. We can have other sessions. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, I'd like to call upon Cipto. We are giving you something from our artist Cipto as a gift from sustainability to you as a moderator. Please, Cipto. Ini teman kita, kalau kita di Indonesia, Pak Cipto. Ini karyanya untuk buka. Kasih buka dulu. Artis Cipto dari Magelang. Ya. Orang Borobudur. Lukis hebat. Pernah saya nampak bakarnya kan gambar orang.
Alhamdulillah. Here we go.
Thank you. Yeah. So thank you to the moderator and speaker for their willingness to share their views. Now we have reached of the end of this event, which is the souvenirs giving session to the moderator and speaker. With this, I would like to invite Dr. Muhammad Kamil Shafi, Chairman of Tourism Perak, accompanied by Director of the Institute of Malay Civilization, Professor Dr. Tajul Shuhaizam bin Said, and founder of Asian International Art Stream, Mr. Abu Jalal Sarimon, to come forward for the souvenir giving session to the moderator and speaker. Now I'd like to welcome moderator Dr. Zakaria Ali. Next, the speakers, Mr. Dinh Mai Chung Tran from Vietnam. Mr. Suhaimi Fajir from Malaysia. Mr. Abu Jalal Sarimon from Singapore. Mr. Pengiran Abdul Wahab from Brunei. And lastly, Mr. Richard Bukhani from Philippines. Thank you for the video introduction. Now we'd like to take a group photo in front, so everyone can come in front and take photo behind.
Can we take a group photo? Yes. Okay. So the speakers here and the audience will be behind. The cameraman will be in front. Boleh? Okay, kita dapatkan sound. Please close the take it so we can see.